I mean, Danny mentioned Vincent Kompany to Bayern Munich. Let's discuss that and Wayne Rooney going to Plymouth. First of all, your thoughts, Alan Pardew, on Vincent Kompany to Bayern.
Well, Vincent Kompany to Bayern is the move of the summer for somebody that probably doesn't deserve that move. If he was analysing himself, Vincent Kompany, I know he's a very confident person, but do you deserve a move to Bayern Munich on your performance at Burnley? You would probably say no, but you're not going to turn it down. Of course not. What an opportunity for him. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that he's a bad manager. I think he could potentially be a great manager because I love his personal skills. I've met him socially a few times.
He's very humble as well,
He's a top person, right? Which is a main ingredient for a football manager. You have to be a proper person. You can't pretend to play at it. So you got to be a real person, and he is. And Bayern Munich players will get to love him. But he needs to find a route to win games. And he hadn't done that at Burnley, and he's going to have to do that at Bayern Munich. And they've not been the dominant force. He'll be up against Bayer Leverkusen, and that team looks like it's got legs. Doesn't look like it's going to, they're aging team that won't be at it next year. So it's not an easy gig, and I wish him well. No,
Rooney to Plymouth. I mean, listen, we talked about young managers making their way, and maybe some, going above where they necessarily should be. How impressed are you with Wayne Rooney? It's not worked out for him at Birmingham City. It was perhaps the wrong appointment. He's dropping down to go to Plymouth. What did you make of that announcement earlier on?
Well, I don't think he's dropping down. I think you sometimes get carried away with footballers' names, right? Rooney, one of England's best players ever. I mean, that just saying them words just goes to show you, you're in the same realms as Bobby Moore, Bobby Charlton. He's in that category. He's up there. But that doesn't necessarily leave him a great managerial name. He hasn't done enough. So I don't think he's moved down. I think he's moved to a club where perhaps he should be at this particular time. He needs to learn his trade. He needs to get a work ethic that works. For him to be a football manager at that level. That is a tough gig in the Championship at that club. Plymouth is not that you would register as a top 6 club in the Championship next year. You wouldn't put them there. I don't think anyone would. No. But there's going to be a sort of heightened pressure because of his appointment. It's a big coup for Plymouth to have Rooney as your manager. So, and it'll improve the PR and everything else and the size of the club. And I can see from their point of view, that's a good move. But for him, he needs to make sure that it's right for him. He's got a budget that he can compete. Otherwise, where's he going to be ending up? 10th? Is that really what he wants?
Well, this is what Nick in Plymouth had to say about it. He wanted your thoughts, which you've just given. But he says, I think Wayne Rooney deserves a chance at a well-run club. His previous jobs have been far from easy, as you mentioned, and I think he deserves credit for what he did at Derby. And it's really difficult, isn't it, when you come with a name like that and you're making your way. We've seen it with Frank Lampard, we've seen it with Steven Gerrard. It's very difficult because there's a perception of you. Vincent Kompany had that to a point, and then did a brilliant job getting Burnley into the Premier League. It's really hard. So to then say, do you know what, I'm going to go, let me just start again. This didn't work out for me.
Well, hold on a minute, because people say it's hard, right, for them, and okay, but it's much harder if you've got no name.
I'm not getting my violins out, believe me. I'm not doing that.
Trust me, there's no sympathy from me to Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Vincent Kompany or Wayne Rooney. It's a different role. You take away their football career. Okay, they come with a certain kudos because of their playing careers. There's no problem with that. He'll bring that kudos into the dressing room. He'll get instant respect from the Plymouth players. So he has an advantage, actually. What he has to do is find a budget that's going to give him a chance of winning. Otherwise, that move at Plymouth will be a stepping stone to somewhere else. Is that really what that is about? Because that's where him and the Plymouth board need to have some kind of agreement. Am I going to have a budget that's going to get me into the playoffs maybe and get us promoted, or am I? Is this like a process for you and a process for me? Rebuilds my career. And then when a move comes along, I'll go. What is it? But I do feel that when I listen to Wayne Rooney, and he has a column in the Times, or he did have. And he spoke very well, and I think he speaks well, and I hope he does well at Plymouth. I really do.
He's very considered, isn't he, when he talks?
He is, and hopefully that works out well for both parties.
Yeah, absolutely. 03717223344 is our number if you want to get your final thoughts in. We are going to talk about the England and Scotland Euro 2024 squads coming up, and we've also got a little bit of Alan's any other business because he wants to talk about the Formula One. This is the final word. Phone in on talkSPORT.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.